3 to win. Now down to 5 seconds. He's got to go to work. It's a long 3.
Going deep for the win.
Ever since basketball embraced the three-point line, the value of long-range shooters has skyrocketed.
For 3.
Not only are more and more points being scored from beyond the arc, but sharpshooters are letting it fly from farther and farther away.
Fires a 3.
And this trend has trickled down to college, high school, and youth basketball leagues around the world. Once a center-dominated sport, basketball has been overrun by deep-threat players who drop bombs in the bucket on a nightly basis. With jaw-dropping feats being documented all over the web, we thought it was time to recognize basketball's top sharpshooters. How do we arrive at this place where shooting gurus reign supreme and the kid next door just tallied 10 million likes? In 1891, when James Naismith nailed a couple Pete's baskets up in the gymnasium, the game of basketball was invented. At first, only 1 point was awarded for each made shot, but after foul shots were introduced, field goals were awarded 2 points each. Games were played with soccer balls before the first basketballs were produced, but the large laces made it difficult for players to dribble, so offenses focused on passing to create open shots. Players were mostly instructed to keep their feet on the floor when playing, so the two-handed set shot was the most common way to score. But in the 1930s, a kid from Wyoming named Kenny Sailors became frustrated when his older brother kept blocking his shot. Kenny tried jumping in the air before releasing the ball, and the jump shot was born. Sailors went on to play for the University of Wyoming, where he won the national championship in 1943. Though there is some debate over who invented the jump shot, most agree Kenny Sailors is the player who popularized it when Life magazine published this photo in 1946. Looking at images of Sailor's shot, it's easy to see the similarities with some of the greatest sharpshooters in history. When the NBA adopted the three-point line in 1979, many believed it was a temporary gimmick and teams attempted less than 3 shots per game from beyond the arc. But that number rose quickly, and by the turn of the century, coaches were encouraging their most lethal shooters to stop and pop whenever they were open. One of the top gunners was sharpshooter J.J. Redick. In 1992, when Duke beat Kentucky in overtime to reach the Final Four, 7-year-old JJ was watching at home, and his dream of playing for the Blue Devils was born. As a kid, Redick was homeschooled in rural Virginia and spent countless hours practicing in his driveway, pretending to hit game-winning jumpers for Duke. When he got to high school, JJ garnered national attention for his shooting and led his team to a state championship, scoring 43 points in the title game. Though many schools recruited him, Redick only had eyes for Duke, and Coach K was more than happy to make JJ's childhood dream come true. A prolific scorer and inspirational team leader, JJ shattered several school records on his way to becoming Duke's all-time points leader. By the time his jersey was hanging from the rafters of Cameron Arena, Redick had made more three-pointers than anyone in NC2A history.
Money, bank it.
Drafted 11th by the Orlando Magic, JJ took his sharp shooting to the NBA, where he drained 41.5% of his threes over the course of his 15-year professional career. But it wasn't just Redick who was shooting from long range. In fact, during JJ's last season in the association, the number of attempted three-pointers per team had skyrocketed to nearly 35 per game, and that number keeps climbing. Another gun for hire who torched opponents with his picture-perfect jumper was sharpshooter Kyle Korver. A 2-time Conference Player of the Year at Creighton, Korver rewrote the Blue Jays record books, nailing better than 45% of his shots from beyond the arc. Though his jump shot was money, Kyle fell to 51st in the NBA draft, and his rights were flipped by the New Jersey Nets for a small amount of cash that was used to buy a new copy machine. But Korver proved the doubters wrong and became one of the most accurate shooters in NBA history.
Again, he is hotter than a blowtorch.
Kyle ranks third all-time in three-point shooting percentage and drilled 53.6 of his triples in 2010, breaking Steve Kerr's single-season record. Korver's 11 points in 1 minute ranks as one of the most impressive shooting displays the association has ever seen.
Let's get it.
And that is why they sell out this building every night.
Not bad value for a copy machine. Coming up, which sharpshooting big man was so dominant in college that the NCAA outlawed dunking the following year? Every night in basketball arenas around the country, sharpshooters are locked in from way downtown.
Lillard from the logo, it's good!
While the old guard still reigns supreme, a group of young guns are firing long-range missiles and stealing the show. There's Trae Young, Luka Doncic,
Luka has gone to that special place.
and Devin Booker.
Steps into the deep three, and why not?
No question that today's sharpshooters rule the game, but this wasn't always the case. Once upon a time, big men dominated basketball.
Kobe on the move. Loud for O'Neal for the dunk.
Epic battles between Bill Russell and Wilt Chamberlain highlighted a game that was largely decided in the paint. In fact, from 1960 to 1980, a center won the league's MVP award 19 out of 20 times. In 1966, Lou Alcindor, now known as Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, ruled college basketball, averaging 29 points per game while leading UCLA to a national championship. Abdul-Jabbar was so dominant that the NCAA outlawed dunking the following year.
Something you won't see in college basketball now. This shot has been outlawed by the college.
But Kareem was a uniquely skilled big man, and he unleashed a new weapon from outside the paint.
Right hand, 12-footer, good!
Extremely difficult to defend, the sky hook became Kareem's signature shot throughout his professional career.
Ford sends it to Kareem. Sky hook up and good. Lakers win.
Over the years, big men have been emboldened to shoot from farther and farther away.
Three, and it goes! There's the first one of his life.
Manute with the fling three, got it. Ho-ho!
To mixed results.
There's a kill for three, and he throws the air ball.
But 2021's MVP, center Nikola Jokic, shoots from everywhere and made 39% of his shots from beyond the arc.
For three.
But perhaps the best sharpshooting big man in history was the Germinator,
You better believe it.
Dirk Nowitzki.
It's a three.
Standing 7 feet tall, Dirk relied on his versatility and signature fadeaway shot to become the 6th leading scorer in NBA history.
Top of the key again. Over Williams. Jumper's good. The wait is over to pass Wilkes.
Born in Germany to a mother who played professional basketball, Dirk started off as a tennis player, which helped develop his footwork and hand-eye coordination. While playing club basketball as a teenager, Dirk was invited to play against the U.S. junior team and scored 33 points while leading the international stars to victory.
Dirk Nowitzki, 32 points. Look at the work at the free throw line. Oh, yeoman's work.
Often referred to as the greatest European player of all time, Dirk played all 21 years of his NBA career with the Dallas Mavericks and remains the tallest three-point shootout champion in NBA history. While professional basketball leagues around the world seem like the most obvious place to find sharpshooters, social media has produced some of the most intriguing. And since subscribers and clicks continue to drive internet traffic, things have started to get interesting. There are people breaking world records, those willing to travel to all corners of the earth,
Get in!
and some sharpshooters just don't seem human.
In your face.
Kids of all ages from all over the globe are knocking them down in some very imaginative ways.
Oh my God!
It seems like every day, a new social media sharpshooter is being discovered. Coming up, which sharpshooter developed a high arcing shot to avoid being blocked by his sister? When Reggie Miller was growing up, no one thought the kid who had to wear leg braces would turn out to be one of the most clutch sharpshooters of all time.
Miller, McKee gets it in the middle for the win.
Born with hip deformities, Reggie struggled to walk, but having Cheryl Miller for an older sister pushed Reggie to try and hang with one of the greatest women's players of all time.
She once scored 105 points in a high school game.
A four-time All-American at USC, Cheryl embarrassed little brother Reggie in one-on-one. But it was these backyard battles that pushed Reggie to develop an outside shot that even Cheryl couldn't block. An outstanding scorer and three-point shooter at UCLA, Reggie holds several league records, and after his last game was second on the Bruins' all-time scoring list, behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Once he gets into the NBA, Dan, they may have to move that 23-foot circle away.
The Indiana Pacers select Reggie Miller of UCLA.
After being selected in the first round of the draft, Reggie lit up NBA scoreboards and proved by the end of the game is always Miller time.
Here's Reggie, here's the turnaround, here's the shot.
Reggie's clutch shooting performances and in-game trash talking with director Spike Lee earned him the name Nick Killer. In the 1995 Eastern Conference semifinal, Miller single-handedly erased the Knicks' lead.
And a steal. Miller retreats to the three-point line and hits again.
Capping one of the most improbable comebacks in playoff history. When he retired, Reggie had nailed more three-point shots than anyone in NBA history. Even big sister Cheryl had to be impressed. The first women's basketball team was organized at Smith College in 1892, but the influence of Victorian culture required women to wear more conservative uniforms and included rules to protect them from overexertion. But in 1936, the All-American Redheads started barnstorming the country, and the women's game was never the same. In high schools, colleges,
Sanderson for three.
And professional leagues around the world, female sharpshooters have been making it rain.
Way downtown and hits it.
There was Azzi.
Azzi for three.
Jennifer Azzi with an open shot is automatic.
Moore.
Moore will get it off. The shot is good. Game 3 belongs to Maya Moore.
And Bird.
Sue tees up a three for the tie, and that's it. Sue Bird, we've been waiting for you.
But no one has buried more from downtown than sharpshooter Diana Taurasi.
Taurasi will fire away and connect on a bomb.
The daughter of a former Italian soccer player, Diana excelled as a two-sport athlete, but ultimately chose basketball. After Gino Auriemma flew cross-country to visit her in California, Taurasi committed to powerhouse UConn, where she averaged 15 points per game and led the Huskies to not one,
39-0. Connecticut is perfect.
not two,
The Connecticut Huskies win back-to-back national championships.
but three national championships.
UConn wins 3 national championships in a row.
Professionally, Diana has done it all. Besides knocking down more three-pointers than anyone in WNBA history,
Diana Taurasi, the record 3 for number 3.
Taurasi has won 5 Olympic gold medals. But perhaps the biggest compliment was when Kobe Bryant crowned Diana the White Mamba. As Jesus Shuttlesworth in the movie He Got Game, Ray Allen didn't have to stretch his acting muscles too far to portray a basketball phenom.
43, Ray Allen, a new playoff career high.
With a father in the Air Force, Ray grew up playing basketball on military bases and was nicknamed Showtime by the airmen at the pickup games. By high school, Allen had moved to South Carolina and displayed his athleticism while leading his high school to a state championship. At UConn, Ray established himself as one of college's premier players and knocked down nearly 47% of his threes during his junior year. In the Big East Final, Ray battled Allen Iverson in Georgetown, pitting the two future superstars against each other.
Oh, this is awesome!
With a loose ball rebound. His jumper for three.
Oh, yeah, Ray Allen has really stepped it up tonight.
Both players showed glimpses of greatness, but in the game's final seconds, Ray delivered when it counted the most. The Huskies won the league title, and Ray gained the confidence to take those game-winning shots at the next level. The 1996 draft class was legendary, but in terms of sharpshooting, Ray stands out from the crowd.
The pick looks at the clock, fires a three, got it! He hit that three-pointer for the lead!
A 10-time sharpshooting all-star, Ray quickly closed in on Reggie Miller's three-point record.
When you got it, you got it!
And in 2011, with Miller in attendance, Allen surpassed him. All this was just a prelude to Ray's final act. With Miami on the brink of elimination, Heat fans filed out of the arena during Game 6 of the 2013 NBA Finals. But everyone knows you never leave Ray alone in the corner.
Back out to Allen. His three-pointer. Bang! Tie game with 5 seconds remaining.
As fans tried unsuccessfully to return to their seats, the Heat would win the game and then the championship, cementing Ray Allen as one of the most dangerous sharpshooters in history. Coming up, which sharpshooting president switched a three-pointer while walking through a high school gymnasium while on the campaign trail? For years, championship basketball teams have been visiting the White House, but which U.S. president could drain the rock like a sharpshooter? Bill Clinton was known to lace him up, but he was known more for his tough defense than his shooting. George W. Bush liked to dish the rock, but his jumper definitely needed some work. Donald Trump's shot displayed textbook follow-through and backspin, but we can't be sure it would translate on the court. When it comes to sharpshooting, there's only one U.S. president who proved that he got game.
That's what I do! I may not make the first one.
Barack Obama not only showed time and time again that he could shoot under pressure.
We might have to move it back a little bit.
But as evidenced by this clip, he even helped coach one of the greatest sharpshooters of all time.
All right, release. Make sure it's on your fingertips.
Wow.
Curry from half court. Oh! He puts it in!
Possibly the greatest sharpshooter ever, Stephen Curry has revolutionized the way the game of basketball is played today. Growing up the son of NBA player Dell Curry, Steph was born with basketball in his blood. From a young age, Steph would join his father on court during pregame warm-ups to practice. Though Steph's shot was money, his small stature and low release point concerned Dell, who forced Steph to raise his shot during high school. And though Curry's talent was evident, most major basketball programs shunned the undersized sharpshooter. But mid-major Davidson recruited him aggressively.
It took about 3 weeks for him to prove to me that he was going to be a star.
And after joining the Wildcats, the baby-faced assassin was born. Wearing number 30 in honor of his father, Curry led the Southern Conference in scoring and broke the record for most three-pointers by a freshman.
Stephen Curry from way downtown.
During his sophomore campaign, Steph set the NCAA record for most three-pointers in a season and led Davidson on an improbable run to the Elite Eight. He won college's scoring title his junior year.
Stephen Curry from Davidson College.
He became the 7th overall pick in the NBA draft. It wasn't long before Curry was wearing out nets and shattering records around the association. But Steph is not just a catch-and-shoot three-point specialist. He's a dynamic and unpredictable playmaker who creates his own shots under the hoop and from 30 feet away. His dazzling ball handling and skyscraping shots inspire players around the globe who show up early just to see his spectacular pregame routine. And in 2021, Steph surpassed Ray Allen
for the record. It's good! And there it is!
To become the NBA's all-time three-point leader.
He has changed the game with the three-point ball.
Constantly imitated, but never replicated, Steph Curry remains basketball's most influential sharpshooter. Basketball has come a long way since James Naismith hung those Pete's baskets in the gymnasium. From the set shot, to the sky hook, to the fadeaway jumper, players are constantly finding new ways to score. And as the percentage of made three-pointers continues to climb, offenses will keep spreading the floor, creating open looks from farther and farther away. What could be next? A 4-point half-court shot? A backwards no-look 5-point shot? Unlikely, but you better believe that kids everywhere are trying everything to become basketball's next top sharpshooter.